and that understand that message. And you know, really, veterans in clean energy, we get it. We see the other side. We see what happens if we ignore things. And then coming back home, you know, it just makes sense to hire veterans. Now, as far as the skill set, I don't concentrate on the rate or MOS or what they did so much. I concentrate more on their leadership abilities and kind of dialing that down a bit more. And then actually with, you know, some of the teams like Swinnerton, for instance, or a Honeywell, making sure that even that training component's there, because as they transition out, they might not have all the skill set. I realize that. And also that as a negotiating piece too. When you're the boss, you can do anything. So,
That's great. Yeah, Tom.
So, I've thought about this, especially, you know, with my time at the bunker. And frankly, I will be a bit critical of the military and the command structure that has, frankly, festered in recent years, where we have built such a bureaucratic force that, you know, listen, Steve Jobs, question everything, right? That was what he demanded of everybody who worked for him when he took over the company in the mid-90s. And in the you know, after he took over Apple, they built, you know, the iPad, the iPhone, the iPad, the, you know, iPod, all built, you know, what I would judge to be one of the 4 greatest companies in America today. And they did it with a work environment that was 180 degrees opposite of what we have built in the military. You know, I'll make a few book recommendations. One is called The Lean Startup, and they devote an entire chapter, the author, Eric Ries, devotes an entire chapter to the 5 whys. Why is this? Why? Till you get down to that truth. Well, I mean, in our current environment in the force and the military, you don't get past the first why before you get yelled at. That is not a healthy environment. It does not translate well into entrepreneurship. And listen, you know, in the time that Steve Jobs was the CEO of Apple, they were building the iPod, the iPhone, the iPad. We were screwing up the Iraq War, and I would invite everybody in this room to think much more deeply about the bad habits that we gain in the military that we need to fix, because we have looked at high-performing, productive organizations. So, yet another book recommendation is called On Emotional Intelligence, produced by the Harvard Business Review. And 2 things that are foundational to high-performing organizations. Number 1, you value your people and make them feel valued. You don't make them do push-ups like they're Pavlov's dogs when they screw up. And number 2, you know, civility at work. You make people enjoy their day-to-day jobs, and civility is a core component of that. Not what we're doing in the military these days, and the outputs have shown.
Time now for just really one question.
Okay.
Let's make it a good one.
One question from the audience.
I'm just. What are you gonna do in 2027?
The name is America's 250th birthday. So we 10 years to assert the Midwest region's presence in the advanced industry.
That was a quick one.
One other one.
You one more.
Anyone? You
I
want
have a question. What it, I am a disabled veteran, and we have our company. What it takes to register the company as owned by a disabled veteran? I mean, it could vary between states. I know you in California, I'm in Florida. Maybe give us some ideas.
Sure. Well, you said you're here in Illinois?
No, Florida.
Florida, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. So yeah, you're right, every state has requirements, so you would register with your state. And I don't know Florida's info on that, but I could share with you the federal side. It's gotten a lot better from when I enrolled. It typically takes 2 years. That's how long it took, 2.5 years to become an SDVOB. And I only got approved because I was being recognized at the White House for championing a change. And it happened like in less than 24 hours. Amazing. But in any case, I hear that it's shortened up to about 6 months. So hopefully it's only 6 months. But I'd be happy to share the information. The federal side.
Well, I don't know about disabled, but I know when it became a veteran-owned business enterprise, it went fairly quickly. But I was a little surprised because I had to file both with the state of Illinois and the federal government, and they did their own little research, and they both came and interviewed me in my office. I'm like, "Do you guys let me talk?" And it just seemed weird that I was already in the system as a veteran, but then they had to do all this paperwork to prove that you're a veteran, and they had it proved. So it's a little odd. But it actually went pretty quickly. But then all of a sudden I had to certify with the city of Chicago and the county. And, you know, I think it was like 5 different organizations that had to do the same thing. And it was like, just wish that they had some way to coordinate it and share it. So there's a lot of paperwork we had to do for that type of
There's a
work.
lot of people.
And if I could add this, if you have a VBOC in your area, that's what they do.
Oh, really?
So please join me in thanking the panel.
Yes, so that ends the daytime session. Hopefully there will be a bus downstairs that will take us to the, hopefully, to the evening program that's